welcome to Primetime Kitchen's How Tuesday. I am Jim, and obviously this isn't Tuesday, it is Saturday. But this is a very special edition of How Tuesday because we've been invited by a good friend of ours to do it at their house. Before we get started, big thanks to the guys over at Wassey's Meats for sponsoring the show. And of course, we always want you to get your tickets to the Egg Fest coming up next Saturday. Just simply go to sunshinestateeggfest.com for all things Egg Fest. Now, here's a very cool thing. My wife met a very special person probably about 3 years ago while they were helping promote her charity organization called I Will Survive. Yep. While doing so, by the way, that's my wife, Tori.
Hey, hey.
And we're here in South Carolina hanging out with our friend,
Miss Gaynor.
Gloria Gaynor. You heard her on the show the other day. She called Friday and talked about it. And she's like, I love to cook. I have a great story. So I was like, well, what's it about? Can we make it on How Tuesday? She's like, funny enough, we can make it on How Tuesday. So tonight, we're doing Gloria Gaynor's very special version of
lasagna.
Yes.
Now, Gloria, when we talked about doing the show today, it was super funny because we were like, well, what are we going to cook? And I was like, well, I don't know. You tell me, what are we going to cook? And you're like, you waited a minute, and you waited, and you waited, and you're like, I've got it. Let's make lasagna. And I'm like, well, we've never made lasagna on the show. That's absolutely perfect. But you stopped me and said, there's something different.
There is something very different about my lasagna because the first time I went to Italy back in so many years ago, I had lasagna for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. And when I came home, I wanted to recreate the dish, but I didn't have a recipe. So I decided I was going to make it according to what it tastes like it had in it to
Right.
me. Well, you know, I'm a poor little girl from Newark, New Jersey. I don't know anything about these cheeses. So I used, instead of the real recipe, which calls for mozzarella.
Yeah.
I never heard of mozzarella. What do I know about that? So I used Munster cheese.
Munster cheese.
And instead of the ricotta that was in the original recipe for lasagna, I used cottage cheese. Well, both those cheeses, as you may know, are tastier than the original cheeses.
They are. Munster is much tastier than mozzarella.
So my lasagna came out very tasty.
Yes.
My friends loved it. They had no idea because they'd never been to Italy either. And they never heard of those cheeses either. So I came up with a hit recipe for lasagna, and so I thought that might be good to teach to your audience tonight.
I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's make Gloria Gaynor's lasagna. What do you say? We're also going to make a salad that I straight up stole. No problem, having any problem with it. From Palma Maria Restaurant, small little Italian place in Castleberry, legendary, been there for, God, since time started. And it has lettuce, red onion, it's got some beautiful garlic in there. We're going to throw some avocado in there, make it special because you love it. We're also going to slice up, slice up this zucchini and put it in there. And then we're going to make our very own red wine vinaigrette, and we're going to put it right on that salad. But let's get started with lasagna. What do you say?
All right.
Now, we're going to use something we've done on How Tuesday before. We made our 40-minute marinara. We're going to do it again. And I asked Gloria, I was like, well, do you mind having some meat? Because we didn't really talk about it having meat. She slapped me in the face. And then said, boy. And then hit me again. And then said, sausage in there. How about hamburger? Hit me in the face again. It hurt a lot. I appreciate it, but it's fine. It woke me right up. So we're going to do a little hamburger. We're going to do some Italian sausage. Now, we took the liberty to pre-cook our Italian sausage, and we are going to sear off our hamburger because I want to show you how we use the fat from the hamburger. Tonight, we're using 80-20. Okay. All right? Now, when we make burgers, we're like 75-25. Gloria, we're like lots of fat because fat ain't nothing but flavor. But we're going to make this tonight because we want it to render some fat down because we're going to saute our garlic in that, and we're going to use that to make our marinara. So let's go ahead and get our noodles started. What do you say? By the way, just the funny thing here. So Gloria is doing this, right? We're having this incredible night tonight. It's going to be awesome. And then like not even 55 minutes from now, we have to leave and go into Myrtle Beach because Miss Famous has got to sing for a bunch of people. So we're gonna throw in some noodles here. We have our barilla. You can use whatever you want.
No, that's what I use.
Yeah, the bria.
Yeah,
I like these. Actually, I like their.
I found that in Italy.
Did you really?
Yes.
Wow. So I've just been using this as my dried product. I started making my own pasta, but I don't make lasagna because I'm not that talented. So we're just going to go ahead and use this dried pasta. That's probably enough because we're going to make a small lasagna. Now, I asked you earlier if you flavored your cottage cheese, and you said no.
Originally, no, but listen, you're the cook.
No. I want to make sure to keep it pure to your recipe. I don't want to short anybody
It
here.
can't be pure to my recipe because you're using your own sauce. That's our recipe now. We are creating here.
That's fine. No, by the way, tell them
Yes.
when I said what sauce do you use? What'd you tell them?
And I have to tell you a story about Prego.
Okay.
My dear friend Darcel made a dish for a church meeting one day. So we're sitting there, we're eating it, and I'm having her I think it was stuffed noodles. And so anyway, I'm tasting it, and then she said, I made that. I said, you did? I said, did you try Prego? And she said, no. Years later, she tells me she thought I said you should try praying.
Oh. And now we're probably going to need some prayers tonight to eat this lasagna as I make it because it's probably not going to be as good as yours.
No, it's going to be better and it's going to be fattening, so we do need to.
All right, pound of 80-20 hamburger meat. We're just going to get this browning off because we want that fat. So we're going to let that just brown down. We'll break it up as we go. All right. Right. Yeah. We don't. Are we doing fat break tonight?
No.
Oh my God. Then that means you can stay in your own house with me then. All right. So let's flavor this cottage cheese. You mind doing that with me tonight? All right. So we're gonna grab this mixing bowl.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put this cottage. Now, really, to be honest with you, cottage cheese not that far from ricotta. Just kind of
No, I know. That's why I thought that's what it was.
yeah, kind of like a larger curd. And to be honest with you, it probably isn't gonna taste much different. So let's go ahead and try it. And for the record, there are sometimes you can't find ricotta cheese, to be honest with you. This is probably going to have a little bit more water in it. So it's a little salt. You can go ahead and do some salt in there if you want. And some pepper in there if you don't mind. We also pre-chopped up. There you go, perfect.
Okay.
A little Italian seasoning in there would be fun.
Italian
A little bit of that, a little bit. Perfect. There you go.
Okay.
And how about 1 spoonful of that garlic in there, if you don't mind for me, Gloria? Perfect.
Garlic.
Now stir that up real good. Now, as we brown this hamburger meat down, our noodles are cooking real nice. We want to just let those things cook as well as we can. And we're really going to get this. This gives you great fat, and we're going to saute our garlic off. We're going to make our red sauce.
Where's the pepper?
Oh, the pepper. Where's the pepper? I have to learn your house.
Me too.
I have to learn your house.
Me too.
I'm learning your house.
Me too.
Your pepper was just here. Where'd it go?
Okay, let's get it from the doggy.
You got it? Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There you go. It was in the dog the whole time. Sorry.
Oh, just broke it. Oh.
It was in the dog the whole time. I broke your dachshund. That's okay. All right, so we got this ready to go. Now honestly, that just sits off to the side because we're going to spread that between each layer, right?
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay.
But I
Now,
think we have the pepper.
just set it right to the side. Now, our 40-minute marinara is actually going to happen in 20 minutes tonight, Gloria, because we're pressed for time.
Okay.
So we are still, if you look at all this great fat we're getting here, Gloria, I don't know if you can see it from there.
Yep.
That is going to be absolutely perfect to kind of make our sauce get that really good, rich flavor we want. So turn this down a little bit. Let's go ahead and start making our salad. Okay. Now, that's your zucchini. I want you to do what you do to that zucchini. Boom.
Gigi, they think you're so beautiful.
Boom. Thank you. I've been
They're not
working out.
talking to you.
Oh.
They're talking to Gigi.
Look
I
at-
can't help but notice that you have a glittery apron on tonight.
Oh yeah, look at these.
Ah,
Are we beautiful?
look at
How
that.
good do we look?
That's because your wife is so talented and wonderful.
Hold on, no. Wife? What? I'm right here.
Was I not supposed to tell?
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
she gets that all the time because she's so hot. I don't get any. I never get compliments, Gloria.
Listen,
People are always like, "Look at
oh,
you,
people do give you compliments.
look at you, Mr. Ugly Face."
No, but you're so
Stop
talented.
it. Stop it.
You can't be talented and
It worked, Gloria. It worked.
just because your wife is.
Ah, there you go.
Perfect. That's good.
Is that enough?
Yes, ma'am. So we also let's go and throw that right in our bowl.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get our. Let's go and break this lettuce down too, if you don't mind, Gloria. By the way, you know that there was a. Oh, you're gonna wash that?
When you wash
They,
But we all want E. coli.
you like to
Did you hear there was a national lettuce recall?
No.
Yeah, I mean they took all the lettuce. You couldn't even get lettuce at. We went to Chipotle the other night,
Yeah.
and you couldn't get lettuce at Chipotle on anything. No, because they recalled everything.
well, it was romaine specifically, but,
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
And
but
that's what
it's
that
okay.
is.
We can make it dramatic for you.
And that's what that is. It's romaine.
So we have some people watching from Michigan. We have people watching from New Mexico.
Oh, well, thank you.
We have New
Hey,
York.
by the way, let me take a second while she's beating the absolute blank out of this lettuce. Well, that's what you do it though, right? Look at that.
Look at her. She's
Boom,
getting
show
it.
them, show them.
There you go. Gigi
Perfect.
knows how to do it.
So anything you want to know about Gloria, go to GloriaGaynor.com. All of her social media pages are at Gloria Gaynor. That's Gaynor. She's awesome. She has a lot of cool stuff and a brand new album out.
Are we breaking this
And yes, ma'am, break it up in there for me. And she's in the process of writing a very cool book with a lot of observations that she's had through life for the last 40 plus years of singing professionally. And I'm just being cool.
I started singing that too.
I know. Sorry, I'm starting to be cool down. So, you know, you go check that out again. That's at Gloria Gaynor or GloriaGaynor.com. Now, Gloria, this salad has lettuce. Mm-hmm. It's going to have some fresh garlic in there, which we're not going to put in here. We're going to put it into the dressing. Okay. And I want you, if you don't mind, you actually love red onion, right?
Yes, I love it.
So we're going to break this red onion down into the way you like it. Also, another thing we're going to put in here, that's perfect, yes ma'am, is she loves avocado. So tonight we picked up a nice avocado. It's a little more firm than you usually get. Like if you feel it, you can push your finger in there. Don't get that, because when we're making this and we want to dice it up, we want a little bit of firmness to it.
Okay.
Also, when we toss the salad together, we don't want it to break down.
Okay.
And become creamy like you would for if you're going to make guacamole.
Lauren said your ears are really red.
My ears are red?
What happened?
I don't know. What happened? Did you put too much makeup on?
What? How many beers did you have?
Corey, I just had 2. Now, why are you trying to paint me as an alcoholic? She's going to never let me back. We are drinking this Wicked Weed beer. This is made in Asheville, North Carolina. We picked it up today at Kroger. This is their Lieutenant Dank. Super clever, guys. Come on, man.
Hey, Dennis family. We love you. Gloria said it didn't smell bad.
Gloria. Oh, Gloria.
I'm drinking my most favorite wine ever. And this is Belgosse. And it's a Pinot Noir 2016. And it is delicious.
It is delicious. All right, so what we're going to do is, well, first thing first.
They said that you're being unusually polite.
What do you mean?
That's what Joanne said. Joanne said
Well, you know what?
Jimmy's being unusually polite.
Joanne, I can't say it because...
Oh, Maisie's watching. That's our little 3-year-old PTK
Oh, that's
fan.
cool. Yeah.
She loves it. They take pictures of her standing in front of a 75-inch screen
Right.
TV of Jimmy's head every week.
Not flattering, let's face it. All right, so beef fat right into our pan. You can hear that? We already have this kind of warming up. That is exactly the sound we want to hear. All right. So we're going to take this garlic. Look at that. Boom. Remember our 40-minute...
How much garlic is that?
Too much.
Okay. It's never too much, but
Never.
okay.
Never too much. All right, so remember when we made our 40-minute marinara before?
Yep.
Gloria, we heard everybody's like, these Italian guys, like, oh, you got to cook it for 7 hours. You got to cook it for 2 years.
Hey, Charlie from Deland.
We had a chef visit the show, Primetime Kitchen, and he told us, he goes, you know what? The best marinara you're going to make is you can make it in 30 to 40 minutes. It's garlic, olive oil, which we're going to put a little bit of in here.
I cooked my. You mean I cooked my marinara for 16 hours for nothing?
Yes, you did. You know what? Actually, it makes it worse, to be honest with you, because what happens is you cook all the water out of it, and the tomatoes get so tart that you can't really enjoy it. It gets too acidic. You have to add too much sugar to it. And next thing you know, your balance is gone. And we've learned here on the show.
You got ketchup.
And then you have ketchup. You really, honestly, you do. You have like Italian ketchup. So what we've learned on the show, Gloria, is that really you want to get the garlic nice, and then we want to add a can of diced tomatoes.
Okay.
We want to add a can of crushed tomatoes.
See, he thought I was going to be busy chopping in there. Watching this
And then we're going to add one little bit. And the only reason I add tomato paste is this. This dish doesn't even call for tomato paste, but I absolutely love tomato paste, and I think it adds a depth that you have to have without adding red wine. A lot of times people add red wine to these sauces, and what happens is, again, when you cook red wine down, you get that weird reduction where it's super sweet. We don't want that. We want that balance. If you have to add a little sugar to this, because tomatoes get very acidic, and sometimes it can get kind of where it feels like it bloats you, seriously, guys, 1 pinch of white sugar into your sauce will break that down. Any kind of sucrose will have to neutralize that acid, and we won't have those problems before.
So Dan wants to know if lasagna is better a couple days old.
Everything's better a couple days old than tomato sauce.
I agree.
Because the tomatoes age.
And chili, right?
Chili is really good a couple days old, but I agree with Gloria. Look, especially when you have noodles involved, because when you cook these noodles and they get nice and soft, when they start soaking up all these great flavors from the olive oil and the garlic and the tomatoes, I agree. I think it just becomes that much better. I actually like to get mine cold and then reheat it. It cuts easier too.
That's true.
That can go in here. And to be honest with you, you can go ahead and put half of that pack of Pearl Mott's in there if you don't mind.
Brandon wants to know how much sauce you ate before you realized that it bloated you.
Brandon, lean into your camera and look at me. I'm going to mouth a word that she can't see.
Don't. Oh, Danny said you look so good, Gigi.
Thank you.
So,
okay,
we have our sauce cooking. This is just going to basically percolate for a couple seconds, Gloria. And we have our noodles are probably done. So what I want to do is I want to see if they are.
Now see, this is what I don't know. How do you
tell?
Because I used to designate one noodle to taste over and over again until it was done.
Well, you know what? That's not the worst thing you can do, I promise. So the cool thing with noodles is, especially when it comes to lasagna,
You throw it beside the wall.
You can throw. I'm not going to throw this on your wall.
Okay.
Can I get a volunteer to have me throw this onto their belly? No?
No.
So we know for a fact. Here's how I tell. See how the edges of this are pale?
Yeah.
See how the middle is still that little bit of dark color?
Yeah.
That probably isn't quite done. Here's the great thing about cooking lasagna. It's going into an oven. And this is going to continue to cook more. So what I like to do is I keep my noodles a little bit more al dente, Gloria. That way when I'm building my lasagna, they don't fall apart.
Gotcha.
All right.
They said great nail color, Gigi.
Thank you.
Yeah, Danny did.
So we're going to let this sit there. Gloria, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pour this out real quick.
Yeah, don't let him splash you. He'll
I
get
have
you.
cut myself. I've boiled myself.
does
Basically,
it all.
I'm my own worst enemy.
It's true. It's kind of true.
It's completely true. All right, so I'm going to call that good. So now we can actually just kind of set this up to the side. That's ready to go.
Okay.
We can turn that burner down. And guess what? We're actually, just throw that right at me. All right, so what we need now is, what do we have in here? We have some zucchini.
Jim Phillips said don't boil the noodles.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to know it. I don't like that.
Yeah, we don't do that. We'll boil them al dente.
That didn't work.
Greg wants to know if you're still touring, Gloria.
Absolutely.
Yay! So they can find all that out on GloriaGaynor.com.
Absolutely. GloriaGaynor.com. You'll find out
That's the
everything.
smallest pit I've ever seen.
It is a little tiny.
That is a tiny little bit.
Can I use your knife?
Yeah, of course.
Chefs always ask that. That way when I cut myself open with it, I can
That
blame,
is a
I
tiny
can
little
blame
bit.
you.
It is, and it's green.
Yeah, you're right, and it's small. Everybody knows the trick. If you don't, avocado, spoon, in, work around.
Okay.
Boom shakalaka.
Look how fancy you are.
Oh, right up until you said that, then it didn't come out. So we're gonna get that right off there.
Okay.
Gloria, if you don't mind, just dice that up for me nice, and then put that right into the salad if you don't mind.
I surely will.
I love avocado.
I have a daughter that eats these like apples.
Yes.
Thank God they're not expensive.
Is it really necessary to chill your pasta after you boil it? Somebody's asking.
I've never done that. It doesn't matter as long as you stop the cooking process. A lot of people will ice bath their pasta to absolutely stop it. We don't really need to worry about that.
You only want half this avocado?
Danny said boom shakalaka.
You only want half the avocado?
Well, we can do
I put the whole thing in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said half.
Oh man, let's do the whole thing.
Let's do it.
So we have our sauce.
Yes.
We need to get this sauce cooking. What's it doing? Tor?
I don't know, babe.
It's not being cooperative.
Well, I'm going to come over there and look at the sauce here in a minute.
I need a little salt in here. I know
Okay.
for a fact. Oh, and then we can dice up our
Sausage?
sausage, and we're ready to go. So we already have our hamburger.
Perfect. It's moving right along
Man, you're
tonight.
good at that.
I'm not as good as fast as you.
No, there's not fast. Doesn't matter. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. You cook a lot, right? You love to cook.
I used to, not anymore.
She's touring
I don't have
too
anybody
much.
to cook for. Somebody want to come? Maybe I can cook for.
Aw, Jimmy will come. I'll let you
I
have
will.
Jimmy for
Whoa,
like a short
oh.
period of time.
Oh, I will
Because then
leave
I'll
you.
get hungry. But I'll lose weight, so it's win-win.
I will leave you. It will happen. For sure. All right, let's get our. So we're gonna take these. By the way, we love these things.
Yeah.
These little whatever the name of the company is. I can't read it. So what do you think that is? Read that for me.
Jimmy's blind.
Mozzarella.
You took the easy way out. Read the name of Bell. What? Gioiosi.
Gioioso.
It's like they're yogi.
Gioioso.
Is that what it is?
Gioioso.
No. Is that right?
Yes, Gioioso.
That's,
Yeah.
it's gonna be right tonight. That's for damn sure. All right, so let's get.
Right.
That's right.
Now, here's.
I've been to Italy a few times.
You have been able to make a couple of times. All right, so what we're gonna do is this. We got a surprise here. And because we're not gonna eat this right now, they're gonna have a chance to throw up. But believe it or not, this is the neatest little salad addition of all time.
Really?
These are English peas. Now, they're frozen. Believe it or not, they will thaw out and everything will be fine. Because we don't cook them or anything. We put them in there. So when you bite them, they give this weird little pop, and they're sweet. So we're going to leave that just there, and we're going to build our vinaigrette.
Danny said, I don't know if Danny's a guy or girl, so. Ooh. Okay, Danny. Oh, Danny, she'll come over and cook.
Awesome.
Is Danny going to come over and cook now? Because I can sit down and drink beer.
No, Danny's in New York.
That'd be great.
Danny's in New York.
May said this is so good. She's so excited about
Oh,
this.
good. So we're going to take the remaining of this garlic. Gigi, this is probably about half of a teaspoon. We don't want a lot in there because, like you said, you have people to meet tonight, and we don't want to blow your garlic out, right?
Right.
So we're going to make a little olive oil in here.
Okay.
All right. Probably about half a cup.
Okay. Is
All right.
this the dressing?
This is the dressing.
Okay.
We're going to put some Italian seasonings in here, which is usually thyme, oregano, basil,
These aprons are a must-have, Tarita.
all right,
And marjoram.
and a little bit of marjoram in there sometimes. You're absolutely right. Depending on the mix, it is. Salt for sure, all right, and then some red wine vinegar because we're going to make an emulsion, which is basically what you know as Italian dressing. Do you like to whisk? Do you like to whisk, or do you want to watch me whisk? Do you want to whisk?
I want to watch you whisk.
So I grab it.
Oh, see.
Everybody wants a sparkly apron now. I'll be at home being a crafter, making everybody a sparkly
That's
apron.
what that turned into. That's normally like the vinaigrette you see, right? We're making an emulsion with the oil and the vinegar.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Let me see. Since nobody's eating this but us.
That's right.
What do you think it needs? A little more salt, or you think it's good?
Maybe a little salt. Yeah.
A little salt, I agree.
salt.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Make me feel better. Like I know what I'm doing here. Let me put this right here. I don't want to splash on your apron because that would be a travesty.
Absolutely.
So let's get this in the fridge. It doesn't have to. We're going to keep it in there. We'll keep it a little cool.
Okay.
Now let's start building this lasagna. We're ready to go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get our pan, which is right here. So, with your lasagna, what we like to do,
What's the first layer?
the first layer actually is a little bit of sauce.
Okay.
I put a little sauce down on mine before we get going. What do you think, Gigi? Is that good? A little sauce? How does I know where your stuff is, like, immediately in your house?
Because it's a logical thing.
It's like I've lived here.
It's logical.
It's logical.
That's right.
Like I've lived here. I don't know. We're gonna put a little sauce down.
Dan, no, we didn't adopt a pet goat, but if you want to see Jimmy get completely kicked in the face by a goat, go to realradio.com and go to the drop-down blogs, and Jimmy is there with some baby goats doing yoga. It's ridiculous.
Yoga with the girls. Okay.
Listen, Gloria, I have to tell you.
I have to know
Listen.
this idea.
Everybody does the stuff they don't want to do for money sometimes. Sometimes you gotta let that goat kick you
That's
and
okay.
jump
God
on it.
forgives you.
I've been asking. Did he tell you and so he told me? Not very cool of him. Not very cool of him. So we're gonna put down this layer of noodles.
This is why I have a gimbal, guys. This is so I can pour wine with one hand, and you guys have no idea.
Wow, that's hot, Gloria. That is so
Somebody
hot.
boiled you for half an hour, you'd be hot too.
God, so hot, Gloria. It's so hot. All right, there we go. I'm gonna layer it right there.
Thetis has to go back to work. Bye, Thetis.
We already miss you.
Watch
We
us
don't
later.
really.
Jimmy.
All right, so we have our cheese. Oh, it's over here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very good. So you want to do the cheese duty, and I'll do the sauce duty, and then we'll have to cut up some of this sausage.
Yes, there's a wiener dog on top of the refrigerator. Everybody's noticing it, Lawrence.
By the way, this is cottage cheese.
Yes, it's covered.
This is Gloria Gaynor's cottage cheese and Munster lasagna, and it's supposed to be amazing. We're gonna give it a shot. I can't wait, honestly.
You can't wait.
I'm serious. Do you think I'm joking? Don't say that. I feel bad if you say that.
Okay, we'll see.
All right. Stop.
Are you gonna survive?
Stop. Don't say that. Gloria, She's so corny. I take that back. You don't have to invite her next time.
That's the only way you got
Tori.
invited, buddy. Let's be clear.
That's not clear. I don't think that's true.
No, because we could have met him on the street somewhere, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna make you a steak tomorrow. It's gonna blow your face off. You're not gonna
Really?
believe it. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good.
First thing you're gonna make me, mister. It's Eggs Benedict.
Oh, I'll do that.
I know.
Wait a minute, hold on.
We discussed the first meal that you ever cooked for me, and I choked it down like a champ. And then when you tried to make it for me again, I was like, please do not make me Eggs Benedict. It was so disgusting. And you were shocked and disgusted.
I was.
And
Because
saddened.
it's really good, but
If you
because
don't like it,
you had a she's close-minded, Gloria.
listen. I had a wonderful epiphany regarding that,
Which was?
which was you can't help what you don't like.
Oh, you know what? You can't.
You can't help what you don't like. It's not like you wake up one morning and say, I think I'll hate spinach. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But guess
Right.
what? That's the same with everything. It's even the same with people. So if somebody doesn't like you,
There's not a lot you can do about it
nothing
sometimes.
you can do about it. It's not their fault, not your fault.
Right.
Move on to the next person.
Right, exactly. Just gotta figure it out and move forward, right?
So, Gigi, do you like my husband?
Don't say that. Why do you say that?
Do I like your husband?
Don't answer that. You don't have to answer that. You can have an attorney here if you
This
need
is
to.
my brother.
Oh, come on. You have to have an attorney. Because if not, she's gonna wind up making you incriminate yourself. It's gonna
What
be
does
rough.
Tom say? Tom wants me to ask Gigi about a cookbook?
My mom's incredible cooking skills.
Your mom's incredible
My
cooking
mom
skills?
was an incredible cook.
Was it really?
Yes, she was.
Tell me about it.
Well, she sent me. Stephanie loves this story, and it's a true story. We were poor, very poor, and my mother once sent me to the store for dinner with 25 cents
Oh, what? To buy what?
to buy 15 cents worth of bacon skins and 10 cents worth of beans, and she made dinner, and we had company for dinner. The other
With
kids,
25 cents.
25 cents. The kids left their mother's pork chops and steak and whatever, chicken, whatever they were eating, to come and eat beans with us because my mother knew how to work her spices, honey.
Really?
Man,
Oh, yeah.
gave up some meat for some beans.
Now, what did so she made basically just pork rinds and
And
beans?
beans, and yeah, seasoned them up, and then she made us some bread that she called bastard bread because it had no raisin. That was her. She couldn't afford the baking powder.
She called it what?
Bastard bread.
Bastard bread.
Because it had no
No
raisin.
And
Stop it. Why would you do that? Why would you honk like a duck? Why would you honk like a Why would you honk like a goose on my cooking show?
exactly. So I'm telling this wonderful story. And she cut them into animal shapes.
Are you
And we
kidding?
had- yeah.
That
So we
is-
had fun eating our beans and animal shaped
Pork rinds.
crackers. And yeah.
We went to a diner today on the way up here, and they had pork rinds on the menu.
As a
Yeah.
side.
Pork as
As
a
a
side.
side?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they started like
So you could pick pork rinds or
like with ranch dipping
Or,
sauce. It
like
was
French fries.
crazy.
Did you have it?
No, because I'd already ordered. I didn't realize they had them until I said, "What's that lady eating?" And of course, we're in South Carolina,
You're
so
gonna
it
have
had to
it
be
on the way
pork
back?
rinds, huh?
You gonna have it on the way back?
I am. We are. Are they open on? Are they open on Mondays?
Did you just come to a conclusion?
So a little hamburger, a little Italian sausage.
Oh, okay. What kind of sausage is this?
So this is just Italian sausage, nothing big.
Okay.
Now I told you, Gloria, we're going to put a little basil in here. I know that you'd only used basil dried before.
Right.
So what I like to do is, because basil has this beautiful thing when it works with tomatoes. It really does. It is amazing. So for one layer, and you don't need a lot of it, because basil can take a dish over, okay?
I
So
love
what we want to do is we want to take this basil, and we just want to pull it right out there, and we can just spread it like that. That's the one layer we can do that, all right? So we're going to hit a little bit more sauce. You don't have to have a lot of sauce, guys. Don't over sauce. That's a big thing in Italian food. A lot of guys who try to make it at home just do too much with the sauce.
Is it mild, sweet, or hot Italian?
It's mild.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I mean, if you have friends and family that don't mind the heat of the hot, do it. But most people aren't going to like that. Okay, we're going to do one more layer, and then we're going to put some mustard on this thing, all right? We're going to let you get it all Gloria. This is like catching fish, by the way. These things are so slippery. Gloria, where did you told me that? So we were telling you about Turkish food because Stephanie told us that you guys love Turkish food, and we were like, well, when you come to Orlando, we have to take you to one of the coolest places, Bosphorus. And then you one-upped me again and said, oh, Bosphorus. You know, I ate right next to it when I was in Turkey working. So we love that food. When you travel around the world and you get to eat these wonderful foods, I mean, you bring all that back, those experiences. But I mean,
unless like there are several Turkish restaurants in my area, so I let people do what they do. So I go there for that and for Indian food. But if I can't, recreate it properly, and I can't find it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can recreate it properly, I do it. But if I can't, then
Now, the reason we like it, and I know that the way that in Europe they'll do the whole thing where we go and get the sampler plate, Gloria, and what they do is they bring out the smoked eggplant, which is the baba ganoush,
right,
the roti bread, the grilled lamb. Then they do the ground lamb with the spices, and they grill it on skewers, and we sit there and act. I mean, we eat like fools. I mean, it's crazy.
It's so good.
You just eat with your hands,
that bread.
And everybody's doing the same thing. Guys sitting there in $3,000 suits, eating hummus and lamb with their fingers and their things rolled up. It's the greatest thing ever, man.
That's the way they did it.
All right. So
oh my God, Caesar, calm down.
This thing is about to go crazy, okay? So this is the last layer of sausage, and then you get to top it with your Munster cheese, and we're gonna just make it a little crazy, okay?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right, here we go. So, hamburger meat.
So this is hamburger.
And this is just regular. And people are like, "Oh my God, it's a little pink." It doesn't matter. It's gonna be in a 400-degree oven for a while. It ain't gonna make it. It's gonna be fine. We're just cutting these in discs, but let me tell you something, guys. If you want to get this sausage, and really, I made the mistake. I told Gloria this, but just tear this out of the skins. Just cut the skins open when it's raw.
Why?
And take that and just pan sear that and keep that fat. That way it'll keep some of the fat out of your dish, because a lot of people are like, this is still going to sweat a little pork fat, which is fine. I mean, pork fat's fine, but in that same sense, you can keep the fat out of it. And I know, God, it looks so good. I just want to eat that a little bit.
I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do that.
You put it in there. That's fine.
You have to make it even. You have to make it even.
Where's my? I can't. Can you get that open with your nails?
What?
This thing here. It's stumping me. I can't get. Why can't I do this?
Strong man.
I know. All right. All right. Last little layer.
So for the people that are just joining, what are we making? Who are you with?
Okay.
What's happening?
Hi. Welcome to Primetime Kitchen.
Yeah.
This is Gloria Gaynor. That's me.
That would have been, you didn't have the wrong page on.
Yeah. You have the wrong paint job.
So if you don't know, the song "I Will Survive" is considered I think it was the very first disco song to ever win a Grammy. Was it not?
Yes.
I think it was. Also just dedicated or inducted into the Library of Congress Hall of Fame, like an inductee type thing. Yeah. And she sang there. She was just also on the Harry Connick Jr. show. And then when the hurricanes happened to Texas, she changed the entire lyrics to Texas Can Survive.
Yes, you will survive.
And you can go to her website, GloriaGaynor.com. She is not only an unbelievable talent, but a sweet person and a genuine person who's had a lot of great life experiences that you can learn from. She's got a book coming out soon. You definitely want to pay attention to it, because we were talking about some of the stuff.
Well, she already has a book, too, that you can get on the website.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, the one she has coming out now is like really kind of cool, because it's almost like the Dalai Lama type thing. Like, let me bequeath. Here, people, take this and run with it, type thing. Let's get some Munster cheese on top of this. What do you say?
And we're making what?
And this is Gloria's lasagna, because Gloria was telling the story a little bit earlier. She covers this in Munster cheese, which is crazy. But
why?
Well, she went to Italy and she ate lasagna. She'd never had it before, had no idea what it was made of, came back to America and said, I can make that. And went out, and instead of using mozzarella and ricotta cheese, she's like, well, that looks like cottage cheese and Munster cheese to me, so that's exactly what she did.
Dan said you're an American treasure, teaching.
Thank you.
So Jimmy, not so much.
So what we had, we're going to throw him off the side. That's fine. You're gone, buddy. You're gone. So we're going to pop this in the oven. This is our Gloria Gaynor'S Lasagna made with some Italian sausage. We have some 40-minute marinara in there that we did on Hot Tuesday a couple weeks ago. Yep. And we covered this in Munster cheese. And we're just going to bring this up. We have a 400-degree oven.
Okay.
top rack, and we're going to cook that probably for about 25 or 30 minutes. That cheese is going to be brown and bubbly. Everything else inside will kind of cook and kind of meld together. All the flavors from the meat will come down into the pasta and the sauce, and it will be delicious. Also, guys, if you don't mind, like and share the video as we kind of move forward. That way we can kind of share this wonderful experience with Gloria, with everybody out there. Now, as we wait for that to cook. So,
What have you got in store?
so no, I want you to share with the audience, like I think your path started in the late 60s and kind of hit, would you consider I Will Survive the peak in 74 or 75?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. It was definitely the peak. And it hasn't stopped. I call I Will Survive a family heirloom now because mothers are passing it down to daughters and so on and so on. And it's been a wonderful experience. Having that song, it's been such a blessing. And I often say I'm amazed at a God that gives talents and abilities to bless other people with, and yet while you're doing that, you're more blessed than they are.
And the funny thing is, I think your path is a little different because it wasn't always faith-based. I mean,
It
you know,
definitely wasn't.
back when this was happening, let's face it, man, the 70s were, you know, Studio 54 and all the stuff you've heard about it is true as it gets, right? I mean, you experienced some of that as an artist.
I experienced a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I never forget riding along in a limo going to a gig, had been joined by a record company executive who pulled out cocaine. I'm like, either you throw that out the window or you go out the door. Because cop stops us, you convince them that I had nothing to do with this.
Right. That's crazy, right?
It was insane.
But that was just the norm back in the day,
that
right?
was the norm. That was the norm. I've had club owners asking me, what do you want? Well, I'll have some Cokes and some 7-Ups. I love 7-Up. And I'll have some chips and I like a nice vegetable platter. And no, what do you want? You know, and they're wanting me to ask for drugs. I'm like, no,
Wow.
no.
Did you run into a lot of the guys in the 70s that had those kind of, not nefarious, that's a bad word, but those really kind of unique personalities, like from the world of rock and R&B, like from everywhere from like Marvin Gaye all the way up to the Rolling Stones and Andy Warhol in the days of Studio 54? Were you part of that?
No. Unfortunately, I did. What happened was I ended up in dressing rooms that they had been in that were destroyed. They had destroyed them, and I never understood what was behind that. And I really think that brought the lack of respect for entertainers.
Really?
You know, yeah, I think that brought on the syndrome where a daughter comes home with a boy and says, Mom, this is my boyfriend. He's an entertainer. And she says, yeah, but where does he work? You know,
he works where I work because I'm paying all of his bills. That's like, every daughter that comes home with some drummer from some rock band. It's always the funniest story. Did you always take positives from your experience back in the day? Did you always look at it that way, or did you realize that maybe did you ever think you were in over your head in the business?
No, I never felt I was in over my head because when I thought that I was moving towards something that was going to find me, I was going to find myself over my head, I had to kind of make a detour, go the other way. So I kind of tried to avoid those situations and circumstances, and I've always kind of been pretty level-headed. My mother raised me with what I believe to be great morals and ethics and integrity. I had to live by those things that I wouldn't mind being alone with myself.
Right.
With those things, you know. So, yeah, I didn't.
And that was kind of hard. I mean, you were just single mom?
Single mom.
Yeah, so, I mean, the whole time, I mean, that's all you knew was mom?
Mom, yeah.
Wow, and you guys were kind of like a team?
Yeah. She was my best friend.
Wow. So, and when this was happening to her, and I don't know, and I don't mean to, was she with you when a lot of this stuff was happening?
No, my mother never saw me with any fame at all. My mother passed away
Wow.
at 54.
I had no idea.
Of breast cancer.
Wow, man.
His
lung
grandmother.
cancer.
Lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think she'd be proud of you?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so.
But do you it's funny because it's so easy to say after the fact. You know, but we hear a lot of entertainers have like kind of either good or bad relationships with their kids, and as they get a little fame or whatever, they always try to make sure that they hold them back a little bit, or maybe they want to be a part of it. Maybe they want to kind of jump into the party and, hey, she made it, I made it type thing.
Well, I might have started in show business earlier, and she might have seen me do something had she not been so practical, because when I told her I wanted to be an entertainer, she said, "That's nice, honey."
That's cute.
But we're poor.
It's real cute,
But
right?
my father was an entertainer, and he never made it, and that happens to people. And if you don't make it, nobody's going to want to hear 10 years later that you never had a job. So I think you need to get some kind of a vocation and some work experience under your belt before you do that. So I was smart too. She passed that on to me as well. So being the smart, practical person I decided to take beauty culture because I would be able to do my own hair and makeup when I became an entertainer.
Wow.
And I decided to go to school for typing and shorthand and accounting, so that I could check on my accountant.
Yeah, of course.
All this big money.
Wait a minute, you're saying the record companies will steal from you?
Oh, of course not.
Hold on.
No, but I mean, yeah, and I used to take down my songs in shorthand.
Wow.
And then type them up. So I used all of the skills. I didn't waste any. That time was not wasted. But by the time I really started to make any kind of headway in show business, my mother was gone.
Did you? So when I Will Survive hit, we've seen this happen with stars before. They have a massive first hit, and then hard time following that up. When I Will Survive hit, and it was one of those rare songs that did always continue to kind of move you forward. I mean, even tonight, we see that we're performing, and you continue to do this. So, do you always seek to maybe write that next I Will Survive? I mean, I know we talked a little bit earlier this afternoon. We were sitting around, and I was like, "Hey, do you still write songs and stuff?" I mean, do you, when you sit down? I mean, you can't think of a theory to that because there's no. That's lightning in a bottle thing. But what do you focus on now when you write a tune? I
try to write, and I've always have. Try to write things that are meaningful, and that's what when the producers that wrote that song were talking to me. They, the record company had sent me out to record a song called "Substitute."
Substitute.
Yes, and so when I got to them, I said to them, in those days there were two sides to a recording. So I said, "What's going to be the B side?" And they said, "Well, we don't know yet. What kind of songs do you like?" I said, "I like songs that are meaningful, that touch people's hearts, that have good melodies." They said, "We think you're the one we've been waiting for to record this song we wrote 2 years ago." So "I Will Survive" was the B side.
Right, wasn't even the A side of the song.
Which is insane.
I know. And so I recorded that song, and of course we know what happened with it. But I wasn't looking for anything in particular. I was just looking to hear, to sing a song that was, as I said, meaningful. And that's what I do today. I look for things that are meaningful, things that
strike a chord with you.
Strike a chord with
That's
me,
right.
and I believe will strike a chord with other people. Things that, like I say, touch your heart because they're from experiences that they touch on experiences that you've had or dreams that you have.
How important was the gospel album to you?
Very, very important.
And then you continue to work on music that is faith-based, do you know?
Exactly. That is something that I've been wanting to do for many, many years. But my manager at the time would say to me, "Oh, you want to do a gospel album? That's a great idea. Let's do that. But first, let's do this."
Right.
I'd say, "Honey, what about the gospel album?" "Oh, yeah. Great idea. We're going to do that."
As soon as we do something.
So it never happened. But now I have a manager who respects my ideas and my wishes for my own career. And so now I'm doing the gospel album.
And you still tour.
And I'm still touring.
Matter of fact, I think we were talking this afternoon that you are going overseas a little bit later this summer and going to do some dates over there?
Yes, I'm doing Italy. I'm doing Paris. I'm doing... I believe Belgium. I'm doing
Babe, let's
Beirut.
go.
I'm doing Lebanon. Yeah.
Wow. That's gutsy. Yeah.
David, the lovely gal, is Miss Gloria Gaynor.
Yeah.
She sang "I Will Survive."
Yes, and many other things. By the way, everything Gloria is at her website, GloriaGaynor.com. By the way, all of our social media at Gloria Gaynor, Gaynor. Grace us with your time tonight, love. Gracious with your time tonight, love. Let's pull this thing out of the oven because I know we have a date.
Let's go.
So what we're going to do is we're going to show everybody how this thing kind of melts down. I put it under the broiler. And I think we're pretty close. I tell you what, let's get that a couple more seconds. Let's toss our salad together, and then we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
By the way, Gloria, couldn't possibly thank you enough for coming on the program tonight and help spreading the word.
Because you're a fun guy.
Help spreading the word, I'm sure. That's very, very sweet of you. I really appreciate it.
And a good cook.
Yes.
Well, we'll find out in a second if that's the case. So what we like to do is we're just going to drizzle this vinaigrette over our greens and our peas and our mozz and our red onion and some fresh garlic.
Yeah, this salad was pre-dressed before we got it. So we didn't get a side of dressing or anything. They just did it perfectly like this.
Yep. So this is a really, really good salad, guys. And to be honest with you, we're not putting a lot tonight because Gloria has to meet and greet some people, so she doesn't want to smell like
Garlic
a bowl of
onions.
garlic. But really, to be honest with you, the more garlic on this, almost the better it is.
Oh,
because
it's so good.
it's just built to go with everything in this dish. The zucchini is Gloria's idea. She actually cuts her red onions a little more thick than mine. And I actually like this a lot better because per bite, the red onion is so absolutely vital in dishes like this.
I did have somebody ask why the red onion compared to the yellow onion.
Red onion has and I agree with her, and it has a kind of it really supports the garlic flavor well. And to be honest with you, it is one of the true blenders of all these flavors, whereas kind of yellow onion can overpower. Red onion does not do that. That's why everybody uses it. We talk about the Turkish food. Not uncommon for you to play Turkish food that has pickled and raw red onion.
Yep.
Boom, we're ready now, kids. Now we are ready.
This is typically when Jimmy burns himself.
Yeah.
Can I do this? Oh yeah, it's even better. Yeah. Just see when I burn myself, guys, if you're wondering. Usually 30 degrees or so. Look at there.
Oh, good. Okay.
So what we have here, guys, is Gloria Gaynor's very own
Oh my Lord.
Munster and cottage cheese
It's
Lasagna.
so
lasagna with our 40-minute marinara,
Yay.
Italian sausage, and beautiful hamburger. She loves it, and we are about to tear this apart, guys. We have it with our Palmerina salad that has zucchini, red onion, pearl mozzarella, fresh garlic, some English peas in there with our in-house made red wine vinaigrette. Guys, this is a dish you can make any day of the week. You can make it like Gloria makes it. And if you don't mind, like and share this video. We got to get out of here because we have, us rock stars, we have big gigs to do in Myrtle Beach. We're singing in front of millions of people tonight. So sit home and drink your warm Bud Lights while we party. None of that's happening. I'm sitting here cleaning this kitchen while she goes out and is a rock star the way she is. Gloria, thank you so much.
Thank you.
GloriaGaynor.com. If you don't mind, give her a follow. Follow her. She's got great things to say. Her Twitter account's fire as it gets. And of course, if you could, go and support her on her website. Buy some of her music. She's got a great book out there as well. And we would appreciate it. Don't forget PTKRadio.com for us. And like and share the video. And guys, we'll see you next week right here on How Tuesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.